there. So I wanted to create a quick video because I've been getting a lot of questions about your response papers. So I just kind of wanted to remind everyone kind of what those are and how they'll be graded, and how you should submit them and what the deadlines are like and all of that. So response papers are brief 2 to 3 page double-spaced papers that you guys will have to write this semester. And the way I have structured it is that there are 6 total papers that you have to write, and the first 3 are due in the first half of the semester, and the last 3 are due in the second half of the semester. So when you see that due date, response papers due October 8th, that means you have to complete at least 3 response papers by that date, okay? But the critical thing is that you have to complete 3 by October 8th, but each individual response paper has its own due date, okay? So for every reading that I have assigned and will continue to assign in every module, you will see a document called response paper prompts. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen so that you can sort of see what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move on over here to our Canvas page, and you'll see a couple of things. So here's our typical module structure, right? So we have, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit to our first module with readings, right? So we have the assigned readings for that particular Tuesday were the introduction chapter and the becoming disabled chapter, okay? And directly underneath it, I have introduction to disability studies, which was the name of the module, response paper prompts, okay? And so for every reading that we had, there were response paper prompts, models of disability response paper prompts, right? So in every module, you'll see a document that had at least one document, usually 2, that has available response paper prompts. So let's go ahead and scroll down to this week's module, which was module 4, okay? So I'm gonna pull up the most current response paper prompts. And you'll note up here that I have highlighted a particular date, right? So this particular paper that was on the reading that you guys just did for today is going to be due on September 22nd, which is 7 days after that reading was assigned, right? So for every single response paper opportunity, you have 1 week after reading the texts to write the response paper, okay? So if this due date passes and you haven't submitted a response paper, then you have to choose a future prompt, okay? The other thing to note is that when you write your response papers, what you are doing is you are choosing one of these prompts, okay? So your entire 2 to 3 page paper is going to focus on one of the questions that you see, okay? So you could write a paper that described and reviewed Ed Roberts' life, basically. So from his diagnosis of polio all the way through to the founding of the ILM and all of that, and sort of how he came to claim his disability and cultivate disability pride, right? Or you could write a paper on speculating about what various practitioners and technicians can learn by studying the independent living movement, right? Okay, so again, every reading in each module will have an accompanying will have an associated list of response paper topics with it, okay? But you need to meet that 7-day deadline if you're planning to write that paper, okay? So again, by October 8th, you need to write 3 total response papers, each by their own respective deadlines, okay? And the other thing about response paper prompts that I wanted to mention is I have graded all of you folks that have already submitted your first response paper. I have graded those so that you guys all have feedback that you can learn from. And I have also posted a myriad of example response papers, okay? So these were excellent response papers that got, you know, some version of an A that I thought you guys could use as a template when you are writing your own response papers, okay? So again, hopefully this is clear to you. Certainly if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me about that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the plan for next week. So next week we will start Module 5, which I have just posted, and like the week before last, so like in Module 3, okay, on Tuesday you will not have a discussion post or discussion posts due, and you will not have a reading due. Okay, so this is another week where I would like you guys to watch a film. And I had planned for you to watch a really wonderful documentary called Lives Worth Living. But unfortunately that, I only have a DVD copy. And after contacting them, there was no way, they told me there was no way that I could get a license for online streaming of it, unfortunately. So because of that, I have chosen a different documentary. So this was a recent Netflix documentary, and it's called Crib Camp. And it talks about several of the disability rights movement, their prominent leaders who all attended a summer camp together as children. And it talks about how that camp experience was integral to their disabled identity, and how it later kind of helped to cultivate the activism that they engaged in during the disability rights movement. So again, this is on Netflix, but if you do not have access to a Netflix subscription or a free trial or anything like that, please let me know and I can figure out how to screen it for you over Zoom or make other arrangements for you. So please let me know. I'm assuming most of you should have a Netflix account, but if not, please do contact me. And then you will have one reading for Thursday with a discussion, and again, you'll have an opportunity to write a response paper. Okay, so hopefully this answers some of the questions that I've gotten recently, but certainly if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.